Good morning. My name is Mike Rennick, and I promise to bring you Longboat Key, Sarasota, and Bradenton each and every week. We want to tell the story of this great part of Florida, the West Coast. It's a fascinating place to live. It's a fascinating place to play. And it's a fascinating place to work. Today, as every Sunday morning, my guest is Steve Reid. Welcome, Steve.
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
Good.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Steve is the owner, publisher of the Longboat Key News, and I can't think of a better person to help us tell the story. So on this beautiful Sunday morning, where are we?
Well, we're at the north entrance of St. Armand Circle. And this, as everyone knows, it's the shopping destination, dining destination, and as unfortunately, also a traffic destination. And
Yes.
partly, that's why we're here.
Yes.
Today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to discuss the traffic.
Yes.
Is traffic a problem down here at the Circle?
It is if you want to get somewhere. Okay, so, and most people do.
I like the way you phrase that.
You have, to our north, as we all know, is Longboat Key. And in season, the population swells from about 6,000 full-time residents to about 20,000. So not only...
And that's about where we're at today. We're probably near the
20,000. Yeah.
Because it's after the holidays. Our snowbird friends are all here.
And another facet of the human condition is people like to eat. And these people all seem to want to eat around the same time.
Yes.
And so between 5 and 7 o'clock, they get in their cars, they hop in the Lexus, and they want to get to downtown Sarasota, or they want to come to the Circle.
Yes.
Traffic can back up for miles. That's one issue. The second issue is the Circle gets clogged. People can't find parking, and that has caused various fights and arguments in the community and in City Hall for years. And what we're going to talk about today is the parking meters, which is one of the city's attempts to remedy this problem and help.
So the discussion that's been going on is to how best manage the parking problem.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And now we have a solution proposed by the city.
Sort of a solution.
Okay.
What happens is the merchants, it all starts a little bit with merchants complain. They say people camp out in the parking spots, and what happens is there isn't churn. If you own a small business, you like churn. Just like if you have a restaurant, you want people to eat and leave at some point and seat someone else. No different for the merchants. So what they were talking to the city about was, let's get some movement out of these spaces. We can't have employees parking all day. We don't want people to stay the maximum. We want to encourage that. So part of the idea is to install parking meters, and then also to further facilitate the sheer amount of traffic, they're building the big parking garage.
Right. We have some shots we'll share on this video of the garage. That in and of itself should take a big load out of the parking.
It's adding
problem.
about 400 spaces to the area. If you've ever been here during the during a special event, you know, I know you're part of Team Rennick, and I know Eric, your partner in the business, has a beautiful new latest greatest Corvette. Well, you know, they have those Corvette shows.
Yes.
When they have those shows, and the Ferrari shows and the boat shows and the art shows at the Circle, the traffic backs up and people park. It's like Woodstock. It's like an upscale Woodstock.
Right.
They park all the way to the Ringling Bridge sometimes, in the median and in the lawn there. And this parking garage should help remedy that, make it a little more.
So here's where I'm a little confused.
Yeah.
I get all that. I understand that parking deck, and we'll show some shots of that if we haven't already, will help solve that, and it makes a lot of sense. So I struggle a little bit for this, and this is just a personal question that I ask. Today we have a 2 or 3 hour limit on the signs. I should know that. I don't know if we have a sign nearby or not, but there's a limit Monday through Friday how many hours you can park there.
Right.
I know because when I had my office here, I quickly found out
The limit,
cash-wise.
yeah.
So that helps with the turn anyway. See, here's where I struggle. In a real estate market, it's the same way. There's many brokerages out there that will charge a transaction fee to do business with them above commission. It's kind of like the parking meter, okay? We're going to charge more for the honor of doing business with us. We're going to charge at the parking meter for the honor of parking at St. Armand's. Here's what I believe. If we provided better service, and more folks found out about that, it would draw more and more people here. The deck takes care of the problem that we've had, and everyone lives happily ever after, and we don't have to charge for the honor of going to St. Armand's. Provide better service, not more cost. Just something I struggle with, why more people don't see that concept.
Right. Well, government likes to, what happened, one of the big issues in the city of Sarasota is they had what's called the parking deficit. They're at about a $600,000 a year loss in their parking department.
Okay.
So here's what government does, and people do this in real estate. They get a calculator out,
Yes.
and they say, if we charge everybody this and we multiply it by this many cars and visitors, we can make a lot of money. So the parking department, headed by Mark Lyons in City Hall, figured out that if you take all these spaces, times them by these averages, they come up with an aggregate amount of money.
There's a part of the formula that's missing, though.
What's that?
How many people are going to opt to go to the Westfield Mall? How many are going to go out to UTC because parking is free?
Well, like any...
There's a elasticity of demand, if you will, use an economics term. So the easy way out is to charge more, and I'm going to leave that up to our viewers to decide what's right for them. I just want to ask some questions. When it comes down to it, if we're running a deficit, has anyone looked at what's causing the deficit today? What costs are driving that $600,000 deficit?
Well, for instance, if say you have the paid parking, you have, like you said, the 3-hour limit. Right now it's a 3-hour limit.
Okay.
What they don't want to have happen is have employees. For some people and some businesses, they'll actually just leave cars out there. And you have to pay this person to troll around and find the violators.
So
the person who stamps the
so
thing.
we have someone that drives around in a golf cart.
Yeah.
And they keep tabs on that.
Yeah, so those salaries have accrued. They're not raising enough to pay for that is one issue.
Okay.
The other issue is it's all public property. That's all public property right there. So it becomes a question of how do you manage this public asset that they have? They're viewing it as, we'll make it a small revenue stream, we'll put a small tax to get people to efficiently come and go, and then leave it open for the next person. Most cities do this.
Yeah.
Most great cities, New York, Seattle, San Francisco.
Most brokers charge a transaction fee also. We tend not to. Now, let me stop for a minute because Steve isn't sharing his opinion. He hasn't given us one side or the other. He's answering my question. So I know you don't feel that you're on the spot. You're just being...
No, I'll tell you my opinion about
person.
This is what I call parking schizophrenia. You have a complete disconnect in our community. What is driving the area is the approvals of more and more condominiums, development, residences, and hotels downtown. We have added exponentially to the population of the area. Well, we can't make the circle bigger. Surrounding this circle is residential property. So if you double the population of the region and you have the same amount of circle, just like you have the same amount of beach, the demand is way up for the same amount of spaces. So I think what we're seeing now is the buckling point in issues like traffic, the resources, the amount, the demand for the parking. You're a crazy person if you say our house is fun with 6 people in it, but we're going to allow 10 people to live in the house.
I get that,
and that's what's happening. And so,
but see, the parking deck helps to solve that. It's the fee to park
but that will become filled too. That's just a reaction and a response to this.
Understand.
So in some ways, I think we have to look to our city to really look at the scale of where we want to be in 50 years. How congested do we want to be? Most of the most precious places in the country that have really high-end real estate, the Hamptons in New York, you go to Gulfstream, Florida, you go to West Palm Beach, they have very strict zoning. They don't just continually allow more and more glomming on of development and downtown. So that's my take on it. We need to have very tight controls on what we're going to allow. We allow this place to revolve with the highest real estate values. We keep it pristine. And
so you're talking about a concept called a master plan.
Yeah, you have to plan
Absolutely.
What you want to be. It would be like in your business in real estate. You want to grow, but there's a point where if you have so many listings, you can't take care of them all yourself, right? So you're better off having a handful of really good customers that you treat right I mean, the best restaurants have a scale.
Yep. When Eric and I came down here, that's actually the decision we made, to remain small, boutique, high service, high upscale kind of service. I don't want to have 40 listings where 15 of them drop off where I didn't get them sold. So you're right, it's all about trying to provide the higher service. And that's my question with, it's easy to charge a transaction fee. It's easy to put in parking meters. Are we really solving the problem, or are we just trying to raise
On a
revenue?
personal level, part of it sucks, because here's why. That little restaurant there, Madison Avenue Cafe and Deli, has something I love as much as anything in this world. They have these little chocolate croissant, dark chocolate inside a beautiful croissant. In the morning, they're warm.
And you share that on a morning I haven't had breakfast, so that's good.
Well, they have one waiting. But here's the problem. The croissant, I don't know, maybe it's $3, right? I don't know if I'm gonna stop and then pay $1.50 to park now to get a $3 croissant.
Yep.
I don't know if I may just blow right by and skip it.
No, I agree.
Which will help me lose that 5 pounds.
I need to do that more than you do.
I really think that that's going to be the problem, or the impulsive stop to get something. I go to Satimi's, which is a great gelato stand.
Absolutely.
I love going there. I don't know if I'm going to go find parking and spend $1.50 for the $4 or $5 cone I like to get. So that's where
here's the other thing. Yeah. How much can I put into the meter? So if I'm sitting in a nice restaurant enjoying dinner, do I have to set a stopwatch that says 60 minutes later I got to go back and put in 2 more quarters?
No. They've made it easier to get your money these days. You'll have an app. You can do an app on the phone, and you can sit in your restaurant and pay. Or you'll be able to swipe in the little machines. You'll see they take debit, and you can.
I saw the credit card slot there.
The system. I got to mention this. This isn't the first attempt at parking meters in the city.
We've put them in, we've taken them out. We've put them in, we've taken them out.
For the city, this is like their 3rd wife or 4th wife.
Yes.
They tried it once in like the 90s. It didn't work. They ripped them all out, and each time the city paid for it. The taxpayers pay. If this parking program, by the way, that garage over there and this meter, this is a $15 million program.
Yes.
And it's all predicated on the revenue that they expect to generate from these meters, plus a little taxing district they paid. If it doesn't meet the $50 million, they are pledged bonds that must be paid by the city.
Yes.
If that does not amount to enough revenue, the taxpayers get to pay for this. So you can, in theory, get screwed 2 ways. You can pay to park now when you get your croissant, and you'll pay your tax bill. So you got to realize government. Wow, that's a big truck. Hold on. That guy won't be allowed to park on the circle. But
so let's in summary then, we all agree there's a traffic problem, there's a parking problem. The deck makes a lot of sense to me. The question is, and I'm going to leave that up to you, our viewers, are the parking meters and charging to park on the deck, is that the right approach? Some of you are going to say yes, some of you are going to say no. I would like to hear your opinion, though. Please feel free to respond to the Facebook posts, the website, things like that. We want to hear from you. As Steve and I continue our travels on Sunday morning to bring issues like this, different parts of our community, we'll have more things to talk about.
And you can always make some friends and all squeeze into a car, and 5 of you get into the car and carpool to get the croissant. Isn't that an idealistic idea? But it's great to see you
Steve,
in the new year.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We'll be back.
Next Sunday morning, we'll have more to talk about.
Yes, and I am going to get a croissant. How about you? You want to get one?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.